Oh, it's never. Okay. So,
Okay.
Silva, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, a very good evening. I bid to my fellow interviewer, which is my friend Ain, and also to our guest, Dilba. Firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is Elida Sofia. You can call me L. I am 20 years old, and currently I am majoring in Diploma in English Communication at College Professional Mara Indra Makota. And I am also from Johor, Malaysia. So, what about you, Ain?
Hi, good evening. My name is Noran Shafika. You can call me Ain. I am 20 years old and I'm from Terengganu and also taking the same course as Elida, which is Diploma in English Communication at College Professional Mara in Ramakota.
All right. So now, before we begin, let me briefly let our guest know, which is our beloved guest, which is Dilba. Um, what is pragmatics? So pragmatics is the way we understand and also use language in social interaction, and that also includes the way we speak, our facial expressions, and also our body languages. And it is also important nowadays because it expresses our thoughts and feelings when we talk to somebody, and also, next we're going to talk about intercultural communication, which is going to be explained by my friend.
Okay, for intercultural communication, it is a verbal and non-verbal interaction with people from different cultures. Also, intercultural communication is very essential to our ability to survive and thrive. Okay, Lida.
Right. So before we ask our guest our first question, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Mazar Sultan Dalbar. I'm from Uzbekistan. I live in Tashkent. Uh, I study at Westminster International University in Tashkent. This is my last year. I take course on economic with finance.
Okay, that's so great. So can you tell us more about your family background and also your educational background?
So I finished primary school in Malaysia, and I get back to Uzbekistan, finish my high school, and I study at Lyceum, World Language Lyceum in Tashkent, and I applied for a bachelor in Westminster, and I'm studying it now. About my family, I have two brothers. I live with my parents, and that's it.
All right. So, Ain, our first question.
All right, so our first question is, what do you understand by the terms intercultural communication?
The cultural communication basically talks about exchanging information, ideas with our communicate. Involves understanding cultural expressions. Like body language, expressing ourselves in different ways, gestures, facial expressions, and sometimes you have to understand their cultural awareness, their communication style, or their interactions, um, and their social norms as well.
All right, thank you. I see that you have a very good understanding in intercultural communication. So our next question is, can you share with us more about your Uzbekistan culture and how is it different from other cultures?
Uzbekistan has very rich and diverse cultural, shaped by its historical, geographic, and various influence. And the difference basically about we have strong family ties. It means that the youngest brother must stay with parents in the like it's like a must to take care of the parents, and we have traditions and festivals. We have Navruz festival, so like cultural in March, and we have different language. we speak Uzbek, and our second language is Russian. It's because of the USSR. We come up from Russia, and we have art and architecture. We have very beautiful buildings, architectures in Samarkand, in Bukhara, and Uzbek prioritize more on community and family over personal achievements. It's like family comes first.
Mhm.
And our communication style uh, differs a bit from others. We tend to shy more. It's like we like we don't speak don't speak like we speak like in manners um, is prioritized for us, and that's it.
Thank you for the new information. Next is which culture have you interculturally communicated with?
Basically, we have a lot of cultures in Uzbekistan as well. We have a lot of Kazakhs and Tajiks, and I usually communicate with them in Russian mainly, and it may differ a lot the language, but our culture seems to have same interactions because we are in Central Asian. We have same cultures, same beliefs, and maybe like our social norms are same as well.
Mm, I see. So, well, we just know that. So in Central Asia, there's Kazakhstan, there's also Uzbekistan in one the same area. So
Yes.
let's move on to the fourth question, which is based on our study, is it true that Uzbek tend to be indirect in their communication to show like politeness and also respect?
Yeah, it's so true. As I mentioned, that Uzbek culture is like tend to shy more, and they're too indirect when speaking. Um, they don't directly speaking what you have problem with, or they just ignore. They just say the positive side, and sometimes we cannot accept the criticism, and that's a bit disadvantage of us, I think.
I see.
I see. Alright, so for the next question is, are there any nonverbal signs in Uzbekistan culture that other cultures might find it differently?
Um, yes, we have like our our high level of hospitality is um, adored by a lot. Like um, we have social norms like if Central Asians offers you food, you have to take it. If you're a guest, like it's like a polite manner, and when you're serving, when you're in a restaurant or in a house, the food served to the elderly first, um, and moreover, maybe like body language, we greet the close friends by hugging. It's like um, take close to them, and handshaking to the normal ones, normal friends, and sometimes it seems rude to make eye contact with elder people long. Like
Mm.
you have to avoid eye contact, and sometimes like sitting arrangements in family seats uh, uh, also have to take advantage. Like um, it have to be seated based on their age and status. Elderly sit at the front, and by status. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a very new information for us. So, like what you said, you have lived in Malaysia for 7 years. And so, as someone who have lived in Malaysia before, you have probably met various people from different culture. So, what is the first thing that you do when you interact with new people from other cultures?
Basically, I try to find something in common. Everyone is like normal human beings, so I think I try to find our hobbies or our education, open some topics that we are general in, and try to be polite. Try not to avoid. Try not to pass the personal space or asking too direct questions, and be normal. Like everyone are a human being, and that's it. I think.
We understand.
I see. Right. So next one is, do you think that continuous period of silence as a positive or negative sign?
Completely negative, I think, because as an example of an uh, Uzbek people, I said like I mentioned that they are shy and they have been silenced for a long time, uh, and it can be an example of economy of the government that people um, don't speak up for themselves. People don't um, tell the problem. They always like positive, 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 and that's it. And we have uh, when there's no negative, there's no improvement, and that's why sometimes Uzbekistan have lack of negativity in the government, in the society, in the community. And yeah.
I see. So, I see. So, moving on for our next question, which is the eighth question. Um, is there any like body language or slangs that is considered rude or offensive, as an Uzbek?
As an Uzbek, sometimes body language is like pointing to someone with one hand is a bit rude. Have to like point your whole hand to show themselves. Or, and I mentioned eye contact with someone for too long, or personal space. If you are new with them, try to avoid too near uh, communication, and especially if you're opposite sex, try to take space. Uh, for the slang, Uzbeks hates direct criticism, like Germans, right? Germans like tell you directly what is wrong with you, but Uzbeks cannot accept it, and sometimes informal language and can be offensive as well.
Right. I see. For the next question is, could you test could you tell us your experience of having a conflict or difficulty in your intercultural communication experience? It can be either verbal or non-verbal communication.
You mean like with my own culture, with my Uzbeks?
Yeah.
Uh, when I first came back to Uzbekistan, I have conflicts with those criticism. I tried to tell my teachers that she was yelling too much instead of teaching, and she yelled back at me, and I criticize a lot. I don't know. I like express myself too much, I think, and they cannot accept it. Even sometimes I tell my friends that their dress is not suit to them, and they say like, "Are you jealous of me?" And I say like, Okay, now I try to avoid too much criticism. It's not criticism. It's like I want to like be I want good for them, but they don't understand. And sometimes I'm a bit direct, and they don't like that. It's because I grew up in other countries, but I think Uzbek they cope well with each other.
I see. So in Uzbek, they more like they want to hear good things instead of people being honest.
Yeah, they're like too polite.
Mm-hmm. I see. So moving on. So for our last question for today, which is our 10th question. So in your very own respective opinion, what do you think can be a good guidance to avoid misunderstanding among people from different culture?
I would prioritize keep a distance with new people, like when talking in conversation in every aspect, and to be open-minded. Sometimes your norms are not their norms, and their norms are not yours, and uh, try to find, like I said, like something in common, something that you are both interested or you have common in your education, in sports or your hobbies, and try to avoid offensive words, avoid generalized things that um, your culture, maybe their culture, maybe they are different from their culture. Like I do, Uzbeks, you said like shy, polite, but I'm not. I sometimes criticize, sometimes I be with like not like Uzbek. So um, stop, like maybe like don't generalize them based on their culture, and that's it, I think.
Mm-hmm. So, from what you have said, I learned a lot, and I also agree from, your opinion. So I think we have learned a lot from Dilba today. Don't you think so?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
So I think, other than that, we have no other questions. So that marks the end of our interview session for today. Thank you for your time and thank you, Dilba. Goodbye.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dilba.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, cut. Thank you. Habis juga. Okay.
Dekat tau, aku macam lupa,
Wait, tak,
tepat-tepat yang lupa.
wait, tak apa, wait. Sebab mesti lagi panjang video tu. So it's okay.
Hmm.